2017 Ford Fiesta SE. I'm not sure how these are nowadays, but this is a nice little economy car. It's very smooth. I have ridden in one of these before. This specific one, actually. They're very smooth. Open up the hood here without hitting my head. Had to refilm because I hit my head. Now. Woo! This is a nice engine. I believe these are 1.0 and 1.6 liter 4 cylinders. I think they make around 120 to 190 horsepower depending on what version it is. This is the SE. I believe the SEs make a little bit more than the regular, which is nice. It's a nice engine. Fords are usually fairly reliable. Let's get back here. It's pretty nice. Got a nice little 12 volt. You can charge your phone in the back. Nice cup holder. It is comfortable back here. It's got seat pockets and everything. So, very spacious trunk. Wow, this is deep. You can really get in there. Yeah, this thing is deep. It comes in clutch having a trunk like this. Let's see how the passenger seat. Let's see how it goes. Oh, this is a very spacious one. You got nice little 12 volt, nice parking brake, glove box. I'm not gonna open that up too much. You got these vents. I like vents like this. They're nice and you can move them around a bit. And we got the owner, Mr. Frank. I don't know if you can see his face. My boy Frank, you know, he's hooked me up with the car. Now I'm gonna get in and start it up. Ooh, nice smooth startup. Okay, this is nice. Parking brake goes up and down like it should. It's got a nice little AC. We do not want to get copyrighted. Nice digital time. It's got partially digital, partially analog. It's got a nice little AC system. You can set it to whatever you want. All your normal controls. Nice little car. Now, let's see how the engine looks when it's running. Yeah, she's purring. She's purring. It's a very quiet car on the inside. So yeah, let's get in and drive this thing. So, parking brakes up, down. To drive, you got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport. I hope you guys can see well. All right, let's set out on our journey. The turning radius is very nice on this. It is it's one of those economy kind of cars. It's not super mega long like a Crown Vic. It's not like a mega gas guzzler either, like one of those. So you're gonna be able to make, you know, decent turns, U-turns pretty easily. It's a nice car to get around. It's very nice. And how long have you owned this for?
I've had this for around 7 years already.
Oh, wow, damn, 7 years was like what, 2018?
Yep, 2018.
Jesus, wow, that's time flew by. How has it been for the last 7 years?
Not really any mechanical issues. Of course, I had to, you know, do general maintenance, like replace the tires and the rotors. The one issue that I do have that's kind of reoccurring with these, and I've like looked at Reddit threads and everything, is the blend door actuator just breaks all the time. So, I mean, that really has, you know, minimal purpose anyways, and it's a $50 fix if you do want to fix it. Maybe like twice a month, so it's not that bad at all. I put like 70,000 miles on the car, and so far, pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's good. 7 years and very little problems. That's more than basically any other car could even say. You know, I know some people that straight out of high school, you know, they got a car and it started having problems immediately, or on the contrary, like this. You know, it's very rare, but it's not very common in like a 2017. It's more common in like a 2000, 2004, 90s. But to see a 2017 going this strong for this long, I'm pretty impressed. I think Ford really did a good job on these Fiestas.
Yeah, I mean, for the price that they were giving them out for too. I got this brand new for 11 grand at the time.
Wow,
which sounds crazy today. Getting a car for 11 grand.
Nowadays, this would be like, what, 30 grand?
I don't think the Fiestas are going for 30 grand nowadays, but maybe they're probably like 16 or 17 if I had to guess. But it's pretty good for the price. Pretty good budget car. Good for what, like I was a teenager.
Now, I know a lot of people that are watching this are probably thinking, should I buy a Fiesta? And they're probably people that are, you know, researching the car. And from what I've been driving so far, I can tell you it's very smooth. The turning radius is nice. The steering response, very responsive. You know, it's a very straightforward, like, no BS car. Like, you buy it because you want something that'll get you somewhere, and you want a car that's going to have good MPG, and it does exactly that, and it offers a safer experience to a lot of other cars, and it offers a smoother experience to a lot of other cars. I've driven 2017s that are smooth, but nothing like this. This has more sound deadening. This has, you know, I'm not going over the best roads, and I can't really feel much of it under the tires, which is good. So, I mean, how has this thing been on gas over the years?
Well, I think it has around like a 12.5 to 13 gallon tank. So usually, depending on the price of gas, it's like $30 to fill it up, so not bad at all. And usually with that, I get like around 350 to 370 miles in range. So I guess you could do the math from there. It's maybe a little shy of 30, like, you know, combined highway and city. So overall, gas hasn't really been a problem for me. It's been fairly cheap.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream. Fairly big tank too. And I can speak from experience. I have the Pathfinder, which was the last video. That only gets about half of the miles per gallon. It has a slightly bigger tank, but it costs more to fill up, and it eats through that gas. It only goes about maybe 250, 270 miles before it needs to fill up. And that's depending on, you know, how fast you're going and the kind of terrain you're on and all that. Now we're going to take it around here. This is going to be a more quiet road. I do like taking these cars on more quiet, emptier roads, just so you can kind of feel the more of the car and not pay as much attention to the stopping and the starting. So Fords they're known to be, you know, a manufacturer of rather large, you know, big, boistering, you know, F-150s and, you know, the Crown Vic previously. And to see them have so much success with Fiestas and Focuses it's a good change of pace from the rest of their lineup, because sometimes, like, I know I can speak from experience, I like pickup trucks, but there's a limit to how big I would like my car to be. I like SUVs, but there's a limit to how many SUVs you can make in a lineup. And I think Ford kind of hit the nail on the head when they started making these Fiestas and the Focuses back in the day. Made it around the curve very nicely. A lot nicer than the Grand Marquis. I actually took this was the route I took in the Grand Marquis video, if anybody remembers that, and that takes the curves fairly well, but you're not going to beat something like this around a corner, especially with something like that. I mean, unless you're getting in like a performance car, but the cars that this is going to compete against, I feel like this would be pretty good around the corners comparatively. Wow. I mean, I really felt it kicking. It's one of those, like, you wouldn't expect a car like this to have that, you know, and it wasn't, obviously it's not going to be the fastest time. It's not a drag car. You're not taking this on a quarter mile, but it has that kick. You can have fun with these, and that's what a lot of people say is you can have, and I kind of agree, you can have more fun in a car that you wouldn't conventionally take out to a track than you would if you got into a Ferrari or a Porsche and went out. And I think in a lot of cases that's true, and in a lot of cases it's not, but I think you can have a ton of fun in this car. It's not one of those economy cars that you get in and it's soulless. You can't have any fun with it. You're just bogging along, 0 to 60 in 35 seconds, and it gets like 100 miles per gallon, but you get in it and you feel like you have no soul, and you kind of wish you didn't buy it. This is not one of those cars. This is an economy car. It can get you from A to B, but you're also going to have a bit of fun in it, and I think that's what a lot of economy cars are missing. I am the kind of guy that does like to have a bit of distance between me and the person in front of me, and having brakes that aren't like, and I also like to have distance between me and the guy behind me, and having brakes that aren't super urgent and like you tap them and you jump forward. It saves yourself from a lot of rear-ending and getting rear-ended, and you can kind of brake from further back and save your brake. Now, I see a lot of buttons on this center console here, which I will say I like, but I think it does offer a little bit of a distraction. But I think as a passenger, it's pretty cool to kind of be able to just dial whoever you want. I mean, is there any more tech features on this that you know of?
Yeah, so I think the coolest thing when I was a teenager was the LED lights inside of here that it comes with stock. So you won't really be able to see them right now because it's daytime, but at night the cup holders and the trimming of the car illuminates, so that's pretty cool. Besides that, it doesn't have a backup camera. This is the year before they started putting backup cameras in the Fiesta. It does have Bluetooth capabilities, so you can sync your phone or your passenger's phone, and when someone calls you, you can answer and obviously talk through the roof, and you can see who's calling you on that little display. Besides that, automatic lights. I think that's kind of a staple for the late 2010 cars, but it's pretty basic, like the Slam was saying, and in a way that's kind of a good thing. So,
yeah, I mean, I can always respect a car that's not trying to be something that it's not. It's not trying to push everything, super hard. It's not trying to give you a feature that you don't want just because it's new tech, and we're trying to push everything forward by going backwards. It's not trying to shove anything in your face. It is what it says it is, and that to me is basically perfect. I mean, I'm not saying this is the perfect car, but I'm just saying, like, you don't want a car that's trying to be something it's not. And when a car is exactly what it says it is, then, I mean, that's a very good thing, in my opinion. And I think with Ford, you can kind of get that, more times than you would out of like a Chevy or, other, like a Pontiac or a Chrysler, Dodge, whatever. But, those aren't bad brands. Now, how this compares to Japanese and, European brands, I haven't driven too many European cars, but Japanese brands, those are usually the same way. They don't try to be anything they're not. But it's a different ball game. It's apples to oranges. I mean, I guess it's oranges to oranges because they're both cars, but it's hard to say until I've driven more. I think once I get my hands on more and more vehicles, I'll be able to make better comparisons. But I think, this has been argued for hundreds of years. Well, not hundreds of years, but, probably around 6, 7, 8 decades by now that, American auto manufacturers versus European, or American versus Asian. And, it's beating a dead horse at this point. But I think there's a lot that can be offered by an American brand that couldn't by an Asian, and I think that it's vice versa. That's always how it's going to be. There's no, one's not better than the other and whatnot. But I think this stacks up very nicely to the Japanese cars that I've driven from this era. So there's some food for thought. Really hear it purring in there. Another thing I wanted to talk about actually was how much this vehicle's worth, or how much this goes for, new and used. I mean, it's not new anymore, but how much this vehicle goes for used and how much the new ones go for comparatively. Do you know the Kelley Blue Book value of this?
Yeah, so I actually just pulled it up right now. Kelley Blue Book is saying that the value for this car, with roughly how many miles it has, which is 70,000, you can get it between 4,000 and 5,700. So
I'd say that's a pretty good deal. You know, it's 70,000 miles is very low. If you go on the used car market, you know, Facebook Marketplace, or you go to a used car lot, you're gonna find cars with like 150, 200, 250, 300. You know, rarely you'll find like 350 or even 300, but mostly 150 to 250 you're gonna find. It's very rare that you're gonna find 70,000 miles in this good of a condition that, you know, goes for that good of a price. So it's a good bargain.
Something else to know, I'm reading this right off the Ford website directly. Goodbye Fiesta, hello new adventures. It's been a fun ride over the past years, and we couldn't be prouder of our spirited up for anything compact vehicle. Even though we will no longer be producing the Fiesta, I think we got a few vehicles in our lineup to fill your criteria for versatility and driving enjoyment. So unfortunately the Fiesta has been discontinued.
You know what Ford said it themselves, though. This is a spirited vehicle. You can go on a spirited drive in one of these. I wouldn't, you know, I'm not going to particularly recommend you, you know, get in your car and just blast through the corners. But if you know what you're doing and you have one of these and you think, you know, I'd never considered it, I would honestly say you could probably take this on a spirited drive. That guy's going all wonky. I'm going to get past him.
The last year of the Ford Fiestas was 2023.
2023.
So
wow,
6 more years after this car.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since they discontinued it, but not too long. I'm sure. I mean, you could probably get your hands on a. You know, as you know, Ford themselves said, there are other cars in their lineup. I mean, none you're gonna get that are, you know, gonna be exactly like this, but I think this is a pretty versatile car. You know. You're not going to get an economy car that's this smooth and, you know, this reliable that you can also have a ton of fun with from this era as you would find with this, you know. So it's a good experience driving this, and I've had a good time on this POV video. It's very spacious as well. I've sat in the back on this particular one as well, and it offers a very comfortable ride. And it's smooth too, so you're not going to be feeling every bump and you know, pothole and whatnot. You know, Florida with the rain and everything has a lot of potholes naturally. And this thing did make it up to Chattanooga, Tennessee and back, so it is a road trip car and it was comfortable, so you can't really complain. Just about getting ready to wrap this video up, so if you liked this video, I would personally hit the subscribe button and the like button. You know, no bias. But yeah, I mean, if you're thinking of buying one of these and this vehicle put you over the edge, and you know, I would say go for it. You know, you've heard the testimonial from here, and if you need more research, then there's tons of articles and reviews online of the Fiesta. But you know, you heard it here from me actually while driving it, and you've heard it from a longtime owner. It's a nice car. I'm gonna get into this parking lot, park the vehicle up. Let's see how trash this park job is. Easy to park. I like it, nimble. All right. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you to Frank for allowing me to drive this car. And yeah, it was a fun video. I had a great time. It's a nice car. So yeah, see ya.